Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Awais, and today this is a video I've been wanting to make for some time because it is a question that comes up surprisingly a lot in my emails and through my DMs on Instagram. I get asked a lot about sponsorships, specifically where do I get them from and how do I get them. I will start by saying that my journey through YouTube has been filled with a lot of positive experiences. I do want to say that my channel is still very small. Of course, all of the support that I get from the community, it makes me feel like I have the biggest channel in the world. Truthfully, it really does, especially in the niche that is the 22WRX. But it's still a very small portion of what one would consider content creators on YouTube. And that's just something that's a fact. You know, I just bounced over 4,500 subscribers, which again, to me, it is a crazy amount of people who are willing to come back week after week and see some of the crap that I do. You know, I try to make it as fun as possible and interesting as possible and also teach you guys something and learn along the way. That said, sponsorships are very helpful. A lot of the things that I've been able to do has been because whether it's individuals or companies have seen something within me worth giving me stuff or giving me some sort of help. Now that wasn't always the case, and that isn't always the case. Now, some of the examples that I want to give you today are my own personal experiences of how it is that I've gone and tried to get them or how they've shown up. Some of you have seen my previous videos. If you haven't, I have had some help from different companies like Import Image Racing, Aeroflow Dynamics. Perrin is a massive supporter. Then I have some local stuff like my local Subaru shop, Ecotech, who has done just way more than I would have ever expected them to even ever do, especially considering I had been going there at least a year or two prior to owning a 22WRX. So I already knew them. I just never crossed my mind that they would want to do something like that. Now, how do those sponsorships come about? Like how do you even make these connections? Truthfully, the answer is sometimes they just happen on their own. And the TLDR version of this video is basically going to be, unless you're doing something, you're not going to get anything. I promise you that has been my experience. I had this channel for over a year prior to actually making content people wanted to see, which was getting the 22WRX. And I emailed so many companies, I think I probably emailed 14 different companies looking for some sort of sponsorship, and not even like, hey, just send me free parts, just anything to ease the financial burden of trying to run a car YouTube channel. Now, they all said no, obviously, because my channel was literally nothing. I had 70 subscribers. I was making content on a 2021 WRX when that model year was on its way out. So nobody was really interested in doing anything with me because they probably felt like anything that could be done had already been done a lot better, right? And that was a fact that even I had to face. But fast forward, things are a little bit different. Somebody did ask on Facebook, you know, one of the reasons why you got a 22WRX. For me, it was at that point in October, a lot of people still didn't like the 22WRX. So I found myself getting in at a really good time, which is not something that everybody is going to be able to do, you know. And between the circumstances and just pure coincidence, it seemed like things worked out. Now, how am I getting sponsorships now? Believe it or not, some people have actually come to me directly. My favorite story that I like to tell people is, you know, I had maybe like 100 or 200 subscribers, which is still, again, it's crazy how far the channel has come. But, you know, Jeff Perrin actually emailed me one day, and I'm gonna be honest, I saw that email, I legit thought it was spam. Like, I was like, there's no way, this is like just some BS email. You know, they're probably just phishing or whatever. And I actually didn't even respond to it for a couple of days until I went back and reread it like a few times. I was like, man, I think this might actually be this actually might be Perrin. So I emailed him back, and that's kind of how all that stuff started. Now, sponsorships and things like that are fun, but the things to understand, and these are again, I base all of this off my experiences just within the last few months of things that I've seen and things that I have noticed or finally like connected the dots. Like when people think sponsorships, they think, oh, some company is just going to send me a bunch of free stuff all of the time, and all of that free stuff is going to go on this car. And in a perfect world, of course, who doesn't like free things? I mean, I like free things, you like free things, that's why we do this, we try to get as many free things as you can. But that isn't exactly how a lot of this works. You have different tiers of sponsorships, one could say. You have companies where they will sponsor you and give you some sort of discount, maybe like a small discount for you to purchase their items, and that's a form of sponsorship. There is obviously the sponsorship where they just send you whatever you want, just pick your catalog, here it is for free. I don't know how common those are for smaller YouTube channels, even maybe channels that are like 100,000 subscribers. I'm not really sure how common that is. I don't really know that many people that just get free stuff a la carte. I'm sure there are a lot of the larger channels, I'm sure that does happen. I don't know at my level if that's even possible. But then you have other things like where you may apply for a sponsorship and you don't get a discount. You buy whatever you need to buy from that particular company, and they will then give you some of that money back for each sale that you send them. So let's say I buy a part from Import Image Racing and they say, okay, use this code and X number of percent will get back to you for every person that uses that code and buys them. So there's different ways to go about doing this. And I think it depends on the company, how big the company is, how small the company is. There have been certain companies that I've emailed and I've just been like, hey, what is your sponsor process? I'd love to apply. Maybe I can buy something or whatever it is that I could do to help. What do I need to do? And in return, they've been like, yo, what's your address? Here's some stuff, right? Sometimes that happens, and sometimes it's worth just asking. Now, so let's look at some of these websites. And these are actually some of the websites that I did apply on. And all of these websites that you'll go to, you will find a sponsor section where they will ask you some sort of information about who you are, what you're doing, and what your plan is, But that's the part. What is your plan? What are you doing? And that is the hardest part about trying to make this happen, because unless you are doing something reasonable, people won't pay attention to you. I know it is a difficult truth, but it is a truth. And it was even hard for me to understand. Even to this day, like for my camera setup, I use the Insta360 camera. And I think it's a great camera. I think it's a really good product. For me, I'm able to do all kinds of fun stuff with it. And I actually reached out to Insta360. I was like, yo, I bought 3 cameras so far. I'm not asking you to send me free cameras, but like, is there something that we can do? Maybe we can do some sort of partnership or something. And they're like, nah, get out of here. So like a company that big is not really interested in working with something small like me. Even if I'm getting like 1,000, 2,000 views on videos, which that in itself is a difficult thing. Remember, having a YouTube channel doesn't necessarily mean that the number of subscribers equals the number of viewers. That is another thing that I have learned a lot. The subscribers matter, but they kind of don't matter. It's a way to like get your foot in the door, but unless you have like 1 million subscribers and every video is 1 million views, that's probably not going to be the case. And so if a sponsor shows up and says, hey, I see that you have 10, 20 videos that are like X number of views, if we sponsor you, will those next videos also be X number of views? Chances are probably not. I'll give you an example. I wish I had I had a box here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. So basically, there is a company that makes one of those boxes that you can plug up to your car to give you like wireless Android Auto or wireless CarPlay or whatever. And this random company sent me this box, and I know I have it here. I don't know where I put it. I probably threw it away. And it was like the worst product that, out of all the ones that I've seen on the internet, it was like the worst. And I don't think it was like their fault. They just didn't do any coding to make it work with the 22WX. And so, which is why I made it a bad product. And they've been emailing me for literally like 4 months, asking me why I haven't made a video. And I keep emailing them like, these are the problems. This is what needs to be fixed. And I even offered to like send the product back and maybe they can work on it. And I'd be more than happy to work with them, but it's like, they don't care, right? So, even if you end up getting sponsored by some of these companies or a company sends you free parts, you don't want to just like use like you should have some sort of bar. You don't just throw out whatever they send you and throw in your car. Be like, hey guys, check that out, this is amazing, because they're going to get sales. You're not going to get nothing. And if the product is crappy and they're getting sales, and like 3 of your buddies go buy whatever you bought for like $400 and it doesn't work, guess what? They're going to look at you like, we did it because of you, and now you're the asshole. And that's another big thing that you have to think about is, yeah, you could potentially be getting free stuff, but like, what is the actual value of this free stuff? Like, is it good? There have been some companies where people have bought a bunch of products and have had issues with it, or have had issues with shipping or customer service or something. If as a content creator, I work with this company and use their parts and suggest to other people that they should as well, and they experience these issues, it would look poorly on me, or it would look poorly on that content creator. So there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to these sponsorships, and I try my hardest to actively keep that in mind, actively keep the community in mind. I get messages from random companies, emails. They usually come in as emails from random companies asking for a sponsorship for this, or hey, we'll give you like X number of dollars for X number of videos if you buy this. But I'm like, sometimes it doesn't even make sense to buy. Like, I had a company who made, I think it was lighting accessories, underglow and LED light bulbs and stuff like that. They've emailed me at least 4 times now, and they've asked me to make some videos, but I go to their website, they don't even have anything for the 22WX. So like, it doesn't even make any sense. I put my email out there for businesses to be able to contact me for this stuff, but like, some of this shit is just spam. It doesn't even make any sense. And it's hard to parse through a lot of this. So, when you see some of these sponsored videos that, any of the other content creators do make, you have to remember that we have to stand by that product, right? And that's another thing to remember is if you are doing it just for yourself and you're not out there for YouTube or Instagram or any of that stuff, chances are it's harder to get a sponsorship. But even if you do get it and somebody does send you a free part, it doesn't matter if it's like really good or if it's really bad, because if it works for you, you're probably not going to have a base where you're going to try to then sell it or market it. Basically, that's what sponsors want you to do. Put it on your car and you market it to your friends or whatever. But it's less of an issue. But let's say like a really big YouTuber, any one of them, like let's say Alex Martini says like, yo, I bought this company sent me this thing, maybe it was free, I don't know, whatever. You should buy it, and it's like $300, but it's, every person that buys it that's not him has the absolute worst experience when working with this company, or like each person after that has like defects on the product. So people are gonna be like, they'll be mad at the company, but they're gonna be really mad at Alex Martini and be like, yo, why you said to buy this? I spent this money because of you. That's a tough position to be in. So this, obviously I want more sponsors for the channel. That is the goal, but you want, or in this case, I want people that care about what it is that I'm doing. As if you've been following the channel for some amount of time, there's a lot of different things I do here. It's not just one type of content. And so getting sponsors, it's interesting, or working with companies, it's really interesting because, I need to try and find companies that fit each mini series that I have going on. Ecotech does a great job of providing me dyno space so we can do actual testing and like on the scene stuff, which is really good. Having parts to be able to install on cars is very helpful. Perrin has done a great job of sending me some spicy bits, and I look forward to working more with them. As of right now, I don't have any sponsors that pay me. Like, nobody is paying me in dollars to do anything. It's mainly parts, and then the secondary reason why I wanted to make this video is I do believe in the transparency of everything that I do on this channel, and it's even within that transparency, it's a learning experience for myself, and it's a learning experience for anybody else who's starting a channel to find out like how do you parse through all of the crap that you're gonna see. I've actually been talking to a few other larger YouTube channels who have been nice enough to take the time out of their day to answer my questions, whether it's like things about taxes or things about, even these business inquiries that I get in my email. So it's a lot to take in. And even though the channel is still small, a lot of companies will see some sort of benefit to them, even if it's small. And some of the companies who don't care about you will try to prey on you. And if I say yes to a lot of these things that come into my email, it could hurt me in the long run. It could hurt my integrity and the integrity of this channel in the long run. So before you do anything with your whatever media that you have, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you're thinking about sponsors, you really want to think, what is it that I want, and is it good for me, right? These are the two things I always ask. And I guess the third one is, is it good for the people that I would be showing this to? Like, I guess the rule of thumb is, if you wouldn't do it, don't tell somebody else to do it. And I think that's, in a way, that kind of sums up everything in life. And sponsorships are no different. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative. I hope that these kind of transparent videos help you guys in some way. And besides that, I kind of just like bringing everybody along for the ride, because it's not something that you hear a lot about. And I want that to be something that we can talk about. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one.